back and pull it up. Okay, there you go. Pull it up out of the top. All right, there you go. So taking all that stuff out definitely was worth it. Okay, Hades Mega here. So here on the left, I have the KLX140 shock, and on the right, I have the KX100. Crikeys, the KX100 shock. This must have been a Supermoto or something. It's not very dirty. Okay, I rode this in the desert pretty recently, so it's pretty dirty. I'm going to clean this up before we take it apart, okay? Because some of the parts on this are going to go on here, okay? So one thing you'll notice is the bump stop is missing. Okay, so this one has a bump stop right here. Okay, there's no bump stop on this one because it's deteriorated. It's gone. There should be a bump stop. Okay, another thing you'll notice, I've got a screwdriver in here. Okay, to line up the eyelets and everything. So they're all lined up. Pretty much. Ooh, okay. The reservoir is bigger on the KX100 by like ½ an inch. Okay, so I hope that's not gonna make any problems. Okay, and the shock body is actually smaller on this one. Okay, so but that leads me to believe this has more stroke. Okay, you can see this, the shaft that's exposed here is about an inch longer than this, so you're gonna get an inch more travel out of this, but it's also shorter. Okay, so overall the shock is shorter. The clevis, the ends, oh, let me go get another. Okay, I got this right, so I'm gonna line the eyelet up on this one and show you where it winds up on the other one. Okay, see, so it's about like half an inch or an inch longer. Okay, so one of the things we're gonna have to do, yeah, it looks like the springs fit. The springs look like they're the same. Okay, this spring definitely looks like it's beefier than this one though, so that's good. We will be swapping the BBR spring for the stock KX100. I think this is a stock KX100 spring. Okay, the preloads look like they're about the same height, so I think we're good there. I don't think we have to mess around with this collar. Maybe we'll lower it just a little bit more. Okay, so one problem with this is you will get extra travel. You'll get about an extra inch or so of suspension travel. Okay, or the shock will move an extra inch. So I can understand why you have to flip the linkage so you can get an extra inch of ride height, because you need extra clearance. Okay, you need extra clearance for the wheel, because if you got more travel and then it hits the fender, it could hit the fender. Okay, the wheel could hit the fender, and then that'll be bad. Okay, you don't want that to happen, and that's also why you got to have a bump stop on this too. So when we take this apart, we will be putting a bump stop on it. Okay. So what I'm going to do first is we're going to clean this. I'm going to clean this shock. It's pretty dirty. It still looks like it's in good shape. I wanted to service it, but I decided, yeah, let's just go with the KX100 shock. So that's what we're going to do. Okay, so what's got to happen is I'm going to swap the springs out, because this is a heavier duty spring than this one. Okay, it looks like it's literally the same spring. Okay, they're about the same length too. So I don't think we even really need to mess with this. Well, we're going to have to mess with this to get the spring out anyway. So, but we're going to clean this up. We're going to swap the springs. Okay, the springs are going to swap. We're going to put our new bump stop in the KX100. And then we're going to swap the clevises. Okay, so you can tell the clevis is much longer on the KLX140 shock than it is on the KX100. Okay, so if you install this on the bike, you're actually going to lose ground clearance. It's going to make your bike get shorter, and we don't want that. Because the KX suspension already raised the front of the bike. It's going to actually make the bike worse. Okay, it's going to make it, it's going to be lower in the back, much lower in the back than it is in the front. Okay, and I don't want that. So we're going to swap this clevis for this clevis. Okay, and I've never done one with an adjuster on it, so it kind of worries me a little bit. Okay, so this has got to be swapped, this has got to be swapped, and then we will put our bump stop on this shock right here, and then that'll be it. Yeah, I think that'll be it. But yeah, I'll try to get that done tonight, and then I'll take this to the shop tomorrow, and have them fill it up with nitrogen, like purge it and then fill it up with nitrogen again. 142 psi, right? This one doesn't have a the port right here, okay? So I don't know how you're supposed to add nitrogen to this, but this one has the thing right here, okay? So that's good. This looks very similar to the shock that's on the DR650 actually, so very interesting. Okay, so I think this is a Showa. I think this is it's a Showa or it's a KYB. I'm not 100. Let's see. This is a it's KYB. This is a KYB shock. Okay. But I think it's like a Showa style or something. This one doesn't have any kind of label on it, so I don't know what kind of shock this is. But it's a little bit different, okay? The adjusters, yeah, let's take a look at that. So the adjusters are a little different, okay? So where the what happened here, man? Where the I think this one has two adjustments. There's one here and there's one inside, okay? There's two adjustments on this, but you need a special tool to adjust this one, okay? This one, I think you can use an open-ended wrench to adjust it or something. You can use this one, you have to have like a tool with like two prongs. There's like a key for it, okay? And there's then there you use a flathead to adjust this. Same thing. The insides you can adjust with the flathead. This one you need a special forked kind of tool that goes in there. You could probably just use a needle nose pliers to adjust that, okay? And you got your adjustment marks here. This is softest, second softest. This is the third hardest, and then this is the hardest, the stiffest right here, okay? Same thing with this one, okay? So yeah, you would just go like in a clock. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, okay? You can see the reservoir is a little bit bigger on this. I don't know if that's good or bad. It should be good, I guess, because you can have more fluid in there maybe, or more air. Tops are the same, okay? The eyelets are roughly the same. No, this is backwards. Okay, the eyelets are different too. All right. So you can see here, you've got your adjuster on the other side on this one. Yeah. So there's an adjuster here. But there's no adjuster here. It's on the other side, okay? So this clevis is actually flipped, okay? So I think we got to remember when we swap the clevises, this adjuster has to be on the other side, okay? Because that's the way it is on this one, okay? So if I were to flip the KLX shock around, okay? They look the same, okay? Except this one is longer, okay? Yeah, this one's longer. And the bolt goes in through here, okay? Bolt goes in through here, but they're opposites, okay? So when we install this one onto here, we have to remember that it's got to be opposite, okay? The adjuster and the part that the bolt goes into has to go on the side where the reservoir is, okay? So right, the reservoir is on the other side of this right here, okay? So we'll have to remember that. There's an oh, this scratched here. Looks like it was scratched. Well, hopefully it's not damaged. Yeah, it's okay. That's where the bump stop goes anyway, so. Okay, so let's go look at the back sides. Right? Yeah, okay, this is this side. Nothing too special here, okay? This is the little cover that you're supposed to take out when you change the oil, okay? That's how you take the whole shaft assembly out. We're not going to be doing that. The collars look pretty much exactly the same. Hopefully this spring fits onto this, or you can flip-flop them. I think you can. They look really similar, I hope. Okay. And yeah, so the adjusters are exactly the same on the bottom. This is soft and the hard. I think that's your rebound. Okay, yeah, this one is much cleaner. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean this shock up. It looks like dookie, okay? It's really dirty. I was riding in a desert, and that's what it looks like. So we're going to clean this one up, and then we're going to take it apart, and then we're going to take both of these apart. And then we're going to swap the parts, and I think that's where we're going to call it a night. All right, here's my go. So that is your comparison video of the KX100 shock versus the KLX140 shock. Okay, in a nutshell, it's the bolts are, I think the bolts are the same. They look the same. I know. Let me go get a bolt. Okay, I gotta remember the longer bolt goes on the top. Okay, so the bolt does fit inside. Okay. Okay. This bolt is supposed to go in here. Okay, it fits in there perfectly. Okay, but we're gonna reuse this one. Yeah. This one goes in the other direction. And so we have to copy that, I guess. I don't know if it really matters, but we should make it the same as this one. Okay, so all the bolts are the same. The clevis is longer by about an inch. Okay. The clevis is longer. The shock body is shorter on this one, but the shock shaft has more travel. Okay. So you should get more travel out of this shock. I don't know. It depends on the. Okay, this is the brand new KYB bump stop. It's the exact same one as the KLX140. Okay, so it'd be a good thing to change it though. I mean, this one doesn't have it. We could reuse the one that's on the KLX140, but we're gonna use this one. Okay, use the brand new one because they wear out after a while, and then it's a pain in the. You have to take the shock apart to put it back in. So so while we're at it, we're gonna do that. Okay, so overall, this shock is shorter, but it has more travel. That's what we learned. The adjusters are a little bit different. The reservoir is a little bit longer. There's a port right here. I guess maybe this is a cover or something. You could take this cover off, and maybe there's a port in there to add air to it. I'm not 100% on that. Okay, the clevis is longer on this, and yeah, it looks like all the springs and the perches, everything's like the same, pretty much. So yeah. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna put this on here and put this on here, and then we're gonna add Mr. Bump Stop, and then that's the extent of the shock work that we have to do. All right, here's my go.